Okay, what's up guys, GamerShark here, and today I'm actually going to be showing you guys how to make a boss battle because, I know that there's a couple of videos on it already, but I've watched them. It doesn't really explain what they're doing, it kind of just shows a speed build, so I'm going to be going more in depth as to how they do it. So the first thing you need to know, you have to know how to do this. This is in every single good one. Is know how to do a button conveyor, which is as simple as a conveyor. You put a button on the conveyor, and then with the button, you have to make sure that's can-collide false right here, and then show timer on false, and then make sure it's push block activated. And it doesn't matter if it's player activated. I actually kind of like to leave that on for testing things. And then this is just a normal part. You want to put walls on this thing, so because how this essentially works is a push box is moving down this conveyor and it'll hit buttons periodically, which will activate the attack. So like some boss battles, like hold up, like the Ghost Crew I did. I'll put a clip on it right now. Okay, so in the Ghost Crew, all these attacks are on the conveyor, one after another. None of the attacks repeat, so it's not like a random thing. That's kind of what I was trying to say. So that boss battle is a bunch of the button conveyors all together, and then like it's one attack after another. So you just go over here, grab a push block, make sure it's actually in there, and then if you guys don't have advanced tools, don't worry about this, but I found that sound effects are a huge part of it and it makes it a lot better. So I like to use sound effects. You don't have to, but just make sure that's on mute to false, push block activated, and then can-collide false, and then I'll just set that there for later use. Okay, so that's like the basics. So if you guys can't grasp this concept, click off the video now, because it's gonna get a bit worse. Okay, so let me give you an example of what I mean by how this would work. I'm gonna do something really basic. Okay, so let's say we got a lava part here, and then a normal part here, and then we just put that over it, and then make this red as a force field. Now, hear what I'm trying to do. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is make like a little warning indicator, and then the lava will appear. Okay, so let's just say this black part underneath is the floor. Also, I like to build in 0.05 for any of those who are curious. Okay, so right now it's visible, so we just hit transparency 1, can-collide false, cast shadow false, and then over here, make this visible for... Okay, so this first button that this conveyor is going to hit is how long it's going to be visible for. So let's say I want this to be visible for 1 second before the attack goes off, and then the attack stays for half a second. So after you do that, make sure you actually select the lava with the second one, and then lava is actually kind of hard to see. And then mostly for boss fights, you don't want one-shots. One-shots aren't really a good idea, you know. It's kind of cheap. I like to keep my damage is around 10, and then depending on... Okay, see, I messed up. So this button is hold on, let me... Okay, so this red button is on the lava. This blue one is supposed to be on the force field, which I just put it on. So now all we got to do is put the force field back down, and then because it's so short, watch. Force field, and then it stops, and then that. So typically I like my conveyor speed at 20, but since this one's kind of short, I'll just put it at 10. So we got that, boom. But since that takes longer, the next step to timing attacks such as that are using fading parts. You put push block activated, player activated false, Okay, and then don't mess with anything here. And then time to reappear, probably 1, because you don't want to get caught on it. So after that, and then I'd say maybe 0.6 seconds of time. And then boom, boom. Okay, that's perfectly timed. So that's essentially how the attack patterns work. They just get much more complicated, and I'll show a couple more of them. But that's the base. That's essentially what every boss fight is, or at least the ones that go in order. So the bunny bot 3000. I'll show a clip of it right here. Okay, so with a bunny bot, certain attacks are gonna repeat, but that's just because there's like they're randomized. So there's the bomb, that one plays. So there's like a set number of attacks that can play, and then it just randomly chooses them with the system I showed you. Alright, that's about all there is to this. This is actually, so it's easier to do see that just played twice. So it's easier to do a randomized boss fight than one that plays different attacks every single time. So that boss fight is randomized. So I have like set attacks that can happen, and then hold up, let me just grab. Okay, so this is literally the exact same thing that's over here, except it has a reset pad at the end. So let me get rid of the music pad. So if you go to a button and then button activation type, you can hit random on it. So if I just hit make object invisible, and then for 1 second, and let's say, okay, let's say all 4 of these are complete attacks, and then this is activated to all 4 of them. Okay, so let's just say that this thing has a delay, because you don't want your attacks to spam and make the game unfair. That's another thing people don't really get, is the game has to be fun or else people aren't going to play. So the fade time has to be at a fade, like it has to be just slightly longer than each of the attacks. So each of your attacks should be relatively around the same, or else one will have a longer pause than the other. So let's just say, okay, so these are all 4 attacks. All 4 of these are attacks. And this right here is going to be the randomizer. So let's just say this part is gone because it's just on a loop. So that fading part goes, and then it hits that one, and that attack goes off. So normally there'd be a respawn part right there, and I just activated that one again. So hold on, let me actually put a respawn all these. See, that one just went off. So that's kind of how it works with the randomizer. You just need to make a bunch of these systems. It's that simple. See? So if all these were attacks, it would randomly select from 4 of them and then put them on the battlefield. Another thing that is important with boss fights is like the Ghost Crew. That was like a big. It was big. There wasn't like a lot of character animation. That is completely up to you if you guys want to do it, but if you do want to do character animation, that is going to require, guess what, more button conveyors and more complicated systems. So hold up, let me actually get rid of this and just add to this one that we actually finished. Okay, so let me stop this, actually, because that's starting to get annoying. Stop! Alright, okay, so let's just grab this is just character base, nothing special about this, it's just a pre-made I have. Okay, let's just say, also you want an idle animation probably, so let me actually make his arms moving parts. Speedrun. Okay, and then just a little arm animation, separate his legs a little bit. So I'm only gonna do one of these, and again, I'm not telling you guys exactly. So I already showed you guys the example of how exactly the attacks work. That the rest is up to your creativity. That's how it happens. That's how every single boss fight does it. The next is just up to you. So you just, okay, let's say this is our boss. Let me just actually get a stupid face to put on them. Give me a second. No, I'm not. Okay, I thought I was gonna use a decal, but with face animations, because I kind of want to do one now. Again, I'm just kind of showing off at this point. I would never actually put this in a boss fight because it'd take me way too long, and I'm kind of lazy. So let's just put this as neon, and then put 2 eyes. Make sure they're centered, and then okay. So now we kind of got an idle animation going. So this is just okay. So let's just say you're in a boss fight, and this dude's just kind of floating there. So this attack still functions. So if we hit this, it'll just activate that lava part. So let's just make it so, how about that when that attack activates, his arm goes forward and it like glows first. Like he swings it. I don't know. Swinging is hard in this because spin parts aren't very well made. But let's do it like this, and then okay. So if you don't know how to really animate characters, this is kind of like frames. So if you don't know how to animate, there's like a bunch of different pictures all put together really fast to make it look fluid. But since it's Obby Creator, it's kind of limited. So let's just say this is gonna show, and then this is gonna show after. So right there, and then let's just say this is here, and then you know what? I'll show off a bit more. Okay, let's do it like this. Okay, go down a bit, and then go down all the way. Okay. Okay. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4 frames to work with. So let's just say this is the attack animation. Right here. So this is going to be him moving. Okay, so first of all, we need to make object visible for, let's say each of these frames goes on for 0.5 seconds before it shows the thing. So let's put this as visible for 0.5 seconds, and then you need to make sure that this is invisible. You can actually time this, but typically what I do with this kind of thing is just make it invisible forever, and then at the end of the conveyor I'll put a button that just puts it back. So let's copy this 4 times. Okay, so now this makes, hold up, this, oh shoot, I didn't select it. Okay, so this makes this invisible, this makes this visible, this makes, hold up, let me just double check I did this right. Okay, so that. Okay, I actually made too many buttons. Hold up. Oh, okay. That. Okay. And then we just make all the later frames invisible. No shadow. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so it kind of bugs when you spam it, but as you can see, oh, hold up. I actually got to do a make object visible at the end that shows the moving part. Okay, and then actually a make object invisible right here, and then activate this on the attack. So this is the attack, this is the character animation. So let me actually set this one apart. So this part right here is what the so after this hold up, where did it actually go? There it is. Okay, so once the push block goes, you know, okay, it goes through this section is the animation. This section is putting the idle back on, and then this section right here is activating the attack. So once the attack activates, you know, it's just that. Okay, so let me actually run through the animation really quick again, because now we got that. Okay, so now, okay, let me put a button here. So make object invisible, show timer 0.05. Over here, select it to that. Okay, so boop, he does his animation, and then it attacks. Like, it's pretty smooth. I could do it better, Like there, it pauses for a second. Hold up. That's bugging me. I'm gonna fix it. Time lapse while I fix this because I don't like how it looks. Okay, that's kind of where I wanted it. So, boom, and it attacks. So that essentially that's what a boss fight is. The health bar. If you think you don't know how to health bar, you're probably thinking of it too hard because, again, literally anything advanced in this game can be done with a button conveyor. So it's all visual is how health bars work. So let's just say this is his health bar. Let's make this part red, you know. Just kind of basic health bar stuff. Yellow. Okay, and then green. So that's, let's just say, his health bar. And then, okay, so this is a very basic health bar system, essentially. So you want to make sure that this is set to invisible, show timer false, time infinite, and then you just make 3 of these. 1 for each of the health notches. So you just want to do that. Boom, that's on the green. That's on the yellow.
Bam!
And that is on the red. Okay, so for the health, so every time you want him to take a hit of damage, you just activate a part, and then boom,
Bada bop, boom, pow.
and then boom, and then boom. So at that point, it's just putting a make part invisible at the end of one of your guys' conveyors, and then having it activate that, and then once his health is done, making him do an animation or something, or just sending you guys to a win screen. So yeah, that's essentially this is like how you do a boss fight with 0 polish. So got a little neat animation, showed you guys how to do a brief health bar, how to do an attack, how to do randomized attacks. Goodbye!
Wow, 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 wow,